I hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring-ding-dingling too. So much delicious contento for all the Patreones to view. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, Patreones and non-Patreones, my little tomatinos, but you see, I am here at the Big Chief, and I have just filled my belly with the best greasy spoon food that a tomato like me has ever had. The boys of Deep Fat Fried are so close to filling their bellies with the same delicious greasiness. Only 180 more Patreones are needed. You are needed. How will these fat fucks fill their bellies with disgusting, artery-clogging nonsense without you? That's right, you can help them. You can help them fill their bellies as they fill yours with delicious content. This December has been one of the ripest months ever, and January will be even riper. Become a Patreone, my little tomatinos, and I will speak to you again soon. Oh.
Welcome to Deep Fat Motherfucking Fried, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right, TJ. I like that energy tonight. I like that. Oh. It's been lacking lately in you. You know, your intros used to be full of such a plum and
vim and vigor.
Vim.
Well, that was my voice expanded.
Whispers McMillan is back, dude. Mumbles McMillan.
I got some kind of fucking show going on.
God damn it. Way to
We're
kill the
start calling
momentum,
you Jeb, TJ.
Yeah, dude. Low energy TJ.
Fucking TJ's Jeb.
He expended his whole energy bank on that intro. Look at him. He's ready for a nap.
Do you want a nappy, TJ? What's up, man?
Dude, you just made like 90% of the audience yawn with that bullshit. Oh, man. TJ needs a long winter's nap. Hey.
Oh, shit.
Hey there, sleepyhead. How you doing?
Holy
Show's
shit.
over.
Oh, thank God. That was a tough one.
Oh, look. Scotty, how nice. He got you a little blankie. He got you a pillar. And why don't you just kick back? TJ, take a little winter's nap.
Take yourself a little nap, TJ. All right,
Scotty
TJ.
and I'll just, we'll just fill time. We'll smoke weed and
power through this episode.
yeah.
I feel ready, Paul. Do you
I'm
feel
ready. I mean, I came prepared, and TJ's just
oh, poor TJ.
he's
so
just
tired.
a button pusher.
You know what? You know what you just set us back with? This
What?
is a total aside and fluff and a time waster. So when you're doing your timestamp, just remember to skip all of this. So here is a fucking generic fucking lighter. We sent TJ a Bic.
Yeah.
And this is what we get back. We get this fucking crappy.
Yeah, I gave him a black Bic, and we get handed back this piece of shit Chinese
Oh, no, Paul. That's for, like, the real lighters. Bics are made in China. This is made in Vietnam, dude. We get a fucking Vietnam-made lighter back. Fuck you, TJ.
Some of us are trying to sleep. Please keep it down.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that, TJ.
Don't fucking
Oh,
whisper,
he
dude.
lost his pillow. God, all right. I'm going to go fix
All
it
right,
up.
go fix his pillow, man. Dude, I can't wait to fucking experience the Big Chief, though. I'm fucking telling you guys. It's like 5.5 hours away from us. Oh, look at these two. Oh, look. Oh, look at that. Isn't that adorable, guys? Oh, look at that. TJ's just too. Oh, a little kiss on top of his forehead there. How sweet. That's a really sweet. You know what, Paul? About that for our DFF show, we're doing the fucking a sweetest.
Yeah.
A
Well, a little
sweetest.
sweetness goes a long way, and
Sweetness.
it's 'tis the season. TJ usually would berate
Sweetest
him for
Paul
his
and
laziness.
TJ moments, deep fat fried.
Usually we would berate TJ for his laziness, but 'tis the season
know what he's-
to let him be who he is.
Paul, you know what he's dreaming about?
What?
He's dreaming about that fucking Big Chief, dude.
Oh yeah, that's
Dude,
what
that's
I'm
what
dreaming
he-
about too.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually looking forward when we get fucking hit that goal so we can fucking go up there, dude, because, like, I've been thinking about it ever since we did that episode on, like, the shortest lifespans. Like, how fucking good must the Big Chief be, dude? These people are fucking literally throwing their lives away. They're literally losing years off their lives to
Yeah.
eat this food.
It's got to be great.
I mean, if it's not, dude, I'll
It's
be
going to be
fucking
amazing.
surprised.
It's going to be like a pilgrimage that's worth it. So I'm looking forward to it. Wow. I think DJ. Do you think he's having like sugar plum dreams? Oh wow, his tongue.
Whoa. What kind of dream is that?
Whoa.
Oh, he's looking at candy cane. He's looking
Oh
at candy
yeah.
cane.
He's having just an endless procession of candy
Oh,
canes.
another
and he's
candy
just
cane.
licking them.
Another candy cane. That's
It's like he's doing the alphabet with his tongue. Yeah.
Oh, now he's eating sugar cookies. Oh, that's so
Oh
nice.
yeah. Now he's. Yeah. It looks like he's actually maybe you know what he's doing.
Oh, what's that?
He's sucking on a big old glass of eggnog. Is what he's doing right there.
That's not wonderful.
Wow. What a sweet dream he's had. All right, TJ, that's enough.
come
Wake
on.
up. Martians! Time to do the goddamn show, TJ. You've napped long enough.
Feel refreshed.
You feel refreshed?
Feel
TJ?
ready.
Took a nice long nap.
What's the show about?
This show.
North America's smallest penises. So luckily,
Can you
you're
drop your
available.
pants, TJ? This is a show about the lamest wars that have ever been fought.
Cool.
And, lameness is not something we normally associate with wars. Wars are usually pretty badass things, in my mind at least, Men going out, suffering through the blood and muck, being blown up in their machines.
Away from their family and loved
Away from
ones.
their families
in shitty
and loved
conditions
ones.
in the trenches or in the fields.
With only their buddies and their ideals to guide them, But there have been some pretty fucking lame wars. And I've split it into 3 categories tonight. We're going to talk about the shortest wars ever. We're going to talk about the stupidest wars ever. And we're going to talk about the least bloody wars ever.
Yeah.
So let's start with the shortest. Let's talk about some of the shortest wars that have ever been fought, starting with the Falkland War. This was a 74-day war. So
74
about a month and a half long.
All right, let's take a look.
Not much of a war, really.
Or, sorry, 2.5 months
Oh,
long.
2.5 months,
Yeah,
yeah.
about 2.5 months long. So in early April 1982, Argentina launched an offensive to invade the British-controlled Falkland Islands.
Oh, they fucked up, dude.
That was not a good idea. The Argentinian forces also invaded South Georgia and the Sandwich Islands. Ooh. Hell no.
Can't blame them for fucking
They
trying.
ain't taking the fucking Sandwich
They ain't
Islands.
taking a bite out of the fucking sandwich, dude.
That sounds like a delicious island to visit.
Oh, sandwich.
That's right. Yeah, that's one of the few. That's going on my short list of places to visit on this earth, right after Turkey.
So, of course, the British responded pretty swiftly and pretty brutally. They launched a task force from a base off Ascension Island in West Africa. The initial battle was waged at sea between the British Navy and the Argentinian Air Force. Finally, the British troops landed in the Falklands on the 20th of May, 1982, and in a swift and fierce attack, they overran the Argentinian forces by the 14th of June, forcing them to surrender. So, not a very long war, but I wouldn't say it's a super lame war. I mean, it's pretty lame in comparison to like World War II.
Yeah, it's just really funny. Like the Argentinians like puffing their chest out, they just get beat just swiftly.
Well, this was a long-standing dispute over this territory, and you know the British and their colonial ways. So the
white people, robots in disguise.
the Argentinians decided that hey, you know maybe now's the geopolitical time for us to just take this island. You know there'll be some consequences, but they probably won't do anything. They were wrong. The Brits just squashed them and made them surrender the island
I believe
back.
this is when Margaret Thatcher was the prime minister.
I think you're right.
Of Great Britain. So
This was in 1982, so that would be correct.
So I think they messed with the wrong bitch, dude. I don't think. Well, look, there's one thing. It's like obviously a lot of the British Empire, the Commonwealth. I mean, it shrunk significantly, and the sphere of influence of the British Empire is long.
I mean, if you look at the history of war, though, the Brits in general are not people you want to fuck with.
No, that's what I'm saying. But to think they're just going to give up some of their territory, it's like, look,
not going to happen.
At this point in history, the 80s, like that shit's like all kind of gone. Like a lot of that, the colonial stuff that happened like the 60s and 70s and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's all kind of gone. This is just some small island. They're not giving that shit up.
Yeah, this is small potatoes, but a big war nonetheless. It's still remembered in Great Britain.
Argentina just surrendered, I guess. Then at that point,
they ceded the island back, and Britain didn't. I mean, I guess Britain at that point probably could have pursued further action and invaded Argentina, but they decided that they were happy with just getting their island back.
I think they made their point, though. I think it's like we'll kick your ass if we go to war with us. You just want to call it a day, and they're like, "Yep, we're good."
How about a shorter war, though, folks? How about the first?
Yeah, this war is too long. 74 days. It gets boring after a while.
How about a 1-month war?
Yeah,
How about the first Greek-Turkish war, also known as the 30 Days War?
Yeah, there you go.
It was a war fought, once again, over an island, the island of Crete, between the Greek and Turkish armed forces. The Turks had...
a war that lasted not even as long as No-Fap November.
Yep. So the Turks had gained control of Crete and had instituted really stringent Muslim laws and rules and regulations over the populace of Crete. And there was a nationalist group of Greeks on the mainland that thought that this was a horrible thing and decided that they were going to go and take Crete back, much like Argentina did from the British forces. This group of Greeks, they rose up. They attempted to do that. The following hostilities, initiated in April, saw the Turkish forces overwhelming the Greeks, who were forced to retreat by May 20th. So this is in 1897. So a very, very short war, a war that was punctuated with basically what happened was as the Greek forces massed towards Crete, the Turks just invaded Greece from the north and started taking cities. Mm-hmm. And they did that enough that now I guess this is what the Greek army looked like at the time.
No wonder they got their asses kicked. A bunch of little scrawny
I don't know. That
faggots.
dude over on the left looks like he could probably deal some death. Maybe he was like a Turk that switched sides, like a spy.
He just looks a little ostentatious.
He's got like a badass sword,
He's the same
though.
scrawny ass motherfuckers.
Oh man, he whoop your ass, dude.
Ain't none of these faggots can whoop my ass.
Fucking, I'll kick your ass.
That's
TJ.
gotta feel bad.
Let me tell you what. If they had faced against just me instead of the Turks, it would have been the 1 day war because I'd have fucking annihilated the Greeks. 1 day, that's all I need.
Think about how bad
Rain,
that must
fire
feel, though.
down.
Like as a country, right?
Yeah.
You're like, this island is ours, and this imperial power took it, and fuck that, we're taking it back. Woo! And then, like, you know, less than a month later,
1 month later,
you're like half your country has been invaded by the Turks, and you're like, all right, hey, no, never mind, take the island back.
I mean, the Ottoman Empire was just so dominant in that part. I mean, region of the world for so long.
Oh yeah. How about a shorter war though? That was a month-long.
A month
war.
is too long. I want something to be over in a week.
Well, how about less than a week, TJ? How about the 6 days war?
I like that. That's nice.
6 days.
You start war on Monday, end on Saturday, Sunday. Everyone's good.
That's convenient.
Also known as the Third Arab-Israeli War, it was the result of tensions in the Middle East erupting in June
Shocking.
1967. Tensions were high in the region for quite some time, and it was heightened by false reports of a planned Israeli offensive against Syria. There had also been increased guerrilla attacks by Palestinian militants from Syria. The list goes on and on. The usual list of grievances this time led to an alliance between Jordan, Egypt, and Iraq in a mutual defense pact. This prompted Israel to launch a preemptive strike on the 5th of June destroying both the Egyptian and Syrian air forces within 3 days.
Whoops.
Jesus.
A consequent
That's
attack
why
by
you don't
Jordan.
fuck with the Jews.
So
Woody Allen might not look imposing, but he will destroy your Air Force.
So Jordan didn't get the message and decided to attack Jerusalem, and that prompted Israeli forces to strike back, resulting in the capture of the Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, the East Bank, and the Sinai Peninsula.
And they've been whining about it ever since.
Well, that's a big issue. Like because this war happened, and the Israelis occupied this territory, and they said that force, we'll give it back at some point, and guess what? That kind of never really happened. I mean, some of it's happened, but
we got a little video to go with it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a major issue in all that conflict. I mean, to this day.
Without doubt, the most personally moving moment for Israeli troops was the capture of the old city of Jerusalem, the location of an ancient Jewish holy place revered by the Israelis.
Super
Fighting over,
Jews.
thousands of joyous civilians, students, and troops streamed toward the Mandelbaum gates. It's the first time in 19 years that Jews have been allowed to visit and pray at the site of the ancient Temple of Solomon. Jordan had kept the old city barricaded since the declaration of Israeli independence.
I think you see why this
It was here
war
that
happened.
Israeli troops acted more like tourists than fighting men, obviously in awe of their surroundings.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show. I love these old newsreel footage things. They're so much
We need
better.
to bring back that kind of narration, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, this a very short war, a very brutal and efficient war. So I wouldn't say it's a lame war because of its shortness yet again. We're in search of the lamest war, and at least this one here.
I mean, this is like Israel wants this land, so it's like, oh, they have a defense pact. We attack to protect
It's
ourselves.
still too long, Paul.
Too long?
I need a shorter war.
All right.
Damn, I mean, 6
How
days.
about
is-
how about
Too long.
All right, how about a war that's over and done with in 100 hours, TJ? Would that sate your hunger for a short war, TJ?
Well, let's find out.
This is the football war. Now, I had a hard time deciding whether to put this one in the shortest or the stupidest category. The reason it didn't go in the stupidest is because it's kind of an urban legend about this. So this war, a lot of people think was started because of an ill-fated World Cup match between Honduras and El Salvador.
El Salvador.
It actually broke out on the night of that football match. But the cause of the conflict was a little deeper than that. It was the result of land reform and immigration, and there was a lot of simmering tension between these two nations. And the World Cup match and the heightened tension of the people watching it and engaging in it was the impetus that these two countries needed to go to war. The Salvadorians saw the displacement of migrant Salvadorians from their peasant farmlands as an act of genocide, and they declared war on the same day as the third and last of a series of World Cup qualifying matches between the two countries. The initial Salvadorian surprise attack on 14th of July drove the Honduran forces back, but the pressure from the OES and military aid from Nicaragua for Honduras forced the Salvadorans to create a ceasefire on the 19th of July, thus ending the war within 100 hours. So this was like kind of a
Pretty short war.
We're going to invade you. Oh shit, you've got allies. We're leaving.
Never mind.
You know what, though, Paul? Fuck that. Still too long.
TJ, will your hunger for a short war never be sated? 100 hours is not short enough, TJ.
Is there any amount of time that'll satisfy you, TJ? Is there any?
Find me
length?
a fucking war under an hour.
I mean,
All right, TJ. All right, you're going to make me go there,
does such
TJ.
a thing even exist, Paul?
You're going to make me go there, TJ? Then let me pull out the big guns. This is the Anglo-Zanzibar War, and it was over and done with in 45 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about.
45.
Nice, quick, efficient war.
Believed to be the shortest conflict in history, the Anglo-Zanzibar War was fought on the 27th of August in 1896. The run-up to the war started with the death of the Sultan of Zanzibar, Hamad bin Thuwani, who had pro-British sentiments. On the 25th of August, Khalid bin Bargash, his nephew, assumed power and managed to assemble a small army of about 3,000 soldiers in the palace. The British forces did, however, not approve of this and issued an ultimatum to Bargash, who had fortified himself in the palace: surrender within an hour or be fired upon. Bargash had a set of balls on him, decided that he was just going to not respond and call their bluff. And what happened was basically the British just parked ships in the harbor and started shelling the middle of the town, including his palace. The Sultan himself was able to escape, but was in exile at that point. About 500 people were killed, and the government that was left behind after the Sultan just ran, waved the white flag in under an hour. That's an entire war in 45 minutes, TJ.
Finally, a nice, quick, easy, efficient, no fuss, no muss war.
The Brits, of course,
but you know what?
Shortly after installed a
Still
Sultan
not
that
short
was
enough,
pro-British.
Paul. Still not short enough.
Well,
tell us the tale of the 1 minute war.
all right. So one day, Spain was having a big celebration. I don't remember what it was. One of their big Spanish celebration days. Mm-hmm. And one of the celebrators puked over the border into France. And a French soldier happened to see that happen and used his power as a French soldier to declare war on Spain for the insult of puking. And he made the guy clean it up and then signed a peace treaty.
Wow.
The 1 minute's war between Spain and France that you never knew happened.
Well, I know now. Paul.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm shocked, dude. I'm shocked.
But what about the 1 second's war, TJ?
Doesn't exist, dude. There's no way.
It does.
There's no way.
The
There's
1980s,
no fucking way.
there was a Cold War, as you know, simmering between the United States and Russia. And the leader in Russia, that at that time Premier Gorbachev, was drunk one night sitting at his desk. And he called up the American president. And he said, Mr. Reagan, I declare war upon you. And then Reagan was like, what? And then he said, I want a ceasefire. And that was the 1 second's war. TJ, the 1 second's war that you never knew existed.
wow.
Our country was at a hot war with Russia for a whole second.
I had no idea. I had no fucking idea. I'm
But
learning so
fuck
much.
the shortest wars. We've taken that to its logical extreme, TJ.
I mean, you can't fucking top 1 second.
All those wars were fought over things that you can understand. You might not agree with, but, I want this territory. I want to get this territory that I think belongs to me back. Here's some wars that were fought over some different things. This is the War of Jenkins' Ear. It was fought from 1739 to 1748.
Was it actually fought over Jenkins' Ear, though?
It absolutely was.
Wow, dude.
It started one day in 1731. Captain Robert Jenkins was piloting his merchant ship, and it was boarded by the Spanish Coast Guard on his return home from the West Indies. The Spanish suspected him of smuggling and wanted to investigate, but it seems that they went a little too far. In addition to investigating, they bound the captain to a mast and cut off his ear. But apart from the diplomatic complaint, it really should have ended there, but it wasn't going to. On his return home, Jenkins took his complaint directly to the king, and I actually have a picture that I pulled of this if you want to throw that up. You're going to have to blow it up. I couldn't find a bigger picture of this, but if you look, this is Jenkins showing his ear to the king. You can see him there kind of on the left middle. The king is looking away and saying, please no, and Jenkins is holding out his ear. Yeah. So he actually kept his ear in a pickle jar to make his case. So it's now 1738, and relations between the two European powers are really not that good. War was looming, but there was no good reason to pick a fight, but perhaps there was. Although the incident of Jenkins' ear gained very little attention when it happened in 1738, the British were looking for just cause, and the ear was the trigger. The Spanish claimed victory, although no boundaries were ever changed. It was kind of a pointless war at the end of it. No boundaries were changed. A bunch of people died, but nothing was gained for either country.
Yep.
And it was started over the ear.
Nearly 10,000 people died.
Yep.
About 4,500 on the Spanish side. Oh, no.
The Spanish suffered
4,500 dead and 5,000 wounded. The British, over 20,000 dead.
Yeah, so a lot of death, a lot of destruction, a lot of ships.
Well,
were
They lost
destroyed.
407 ships.
Well, it's like you have to think about the state of Europe at that time, and it's like these political families and alliances, and it's kind of like a lot of times it's dick measuring. It's like I'm going to prove how brave I am by going and leading some soldiers over here to go attack these people. Like, not really lead them, but just, I'm going to give the order and, there's going to be a battle. And sometimes they don't even, the leaders didn't even leave the country. It was just like, you'd have these fucking massive battles. Like you said, like 20,000 people died. But how many people you think actually died in combat? Probably not as many as you think. A lot of those people died because, like, warfare, and there's no sanitation, there's no steady food supplies.
Well, a lot of them died because the ships were sunk.
That's what I'm saying. The happenstance, the ships sink. That's what I mean. Like, most people in these wars back then didn't die from actual combat. No, a lot of them did, of course, but a lot of them died because they would be in camp and, they have dysentery, they're dead. You know what I mean? So it's just a really rotten way to live, but it's kind of an aside.
Well, are you satisfied with the stupidity of that war, TJ? Is that stupid enough
That's pretty
for you?
dumb.
Nah.
You want something stupid?
I want something dumber. Give me
I
a
got
dumber
stupider
war,
one.
bitch.
How about the War of the Oaken Bucket?
There it
That
is.
Blow
doesn't
this
sound
up
dumb
for
to
the
me.
people.
It's about a bucket, dude. Look at that bucket.
Now, TJ, what if I told you that a war was fought over this very bucket? What would you tell me?
I would say, damn right. It is a pretty
cool looking
a
bucket.
just
Look at that
cause.
bucket.
2 city-states in northern Italy.
I wish it was fought
Bologna-
over Mr. Bucket, though.
Bologna and Modena, 2 city-states in northern Italy. They'd long time been rivals. They were in a geographical position that there was a lot of competition between them, and there was some difference in allegiances. One had allegiance to the Holy Roman Empire, and the other had allegiance to the papacy. So there was a lot of tension between these two places. In 1325, a few soldiers, probably drunk from Modena, entered Bologna and stole this oak bucket from a well. Bologna was a little pissed at the brazen theft and decided to go to war. Now, they amassed 32,000 men to march on Modena to get back their fucking bucket. It was one injustice too many, and they managed to whip up 32,000 men that were pissed off enough about these dudes stealing a bucket that they were willing to go and invade Modena, and they did just that. They met at Zappolino, still in Bologna territory. They fought it out. Before Bologna, the Bologna army were routed and ran for safety in their own walls. So they raised up an army, tried to attack. Modena counterattacked with a much smaller force, drove them back to their homes. And you want to know what the funniest part about this story is? That bucket is still in Modena. Still on display. They never got their fucking bucket back. It's on display in Modena. The ultimate fuck you to the Bolognes. We still have your bucket, bitches. Now that's a pretty stupid war.
Dude, I love it.
I cannot say
that's obviously a matter of pride at that point.
those
no
motherfuckers
one's-
came to their territory.
No one's really like,
stole a
we got to
bucket.
get that bucket back. It's more just like, they dare disgrace us by stealing our fucking prized bucket.
But then they got pimp slapped, and the guys
Yeah.
kept the bucket
And
anyway.
they realized
Yeah.
that like maybe they really deserved the bucket.
It's like, all right, well.
They weren't worthy of the bucket.
They weren't.
If they were worthy of this bucket, it'd still be in that well in Bologna somewhere.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be sitting in the fucking museum in Modena.
It says here only 2,000 people died. So obviously, of that 32,000, not a whole lot of them stuck around with eventually they were like, man, this bucket ain't
Yeah.
worth it. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, maybe a bucket isn't worth getting my throat cut for, so let's get out of here. I don't want to take an arrow in the lung for a bucket.
Yeah, let's get out of here, man. This ain't working for me.
So, what about that, TJ? Is that a stupid enough war for you?
Yeah, I'd say so, honestly.
Oh, okay.
It's over a bucket.
I guess show over then.
Yeah. But let's keep going anyway.
All right, this is the War of the Stray Dog. That's a pretty stupid reason to have a war, right? 1925?
Is this the actual dog?
No. There were no pictures of this because it was a very stupid war, but this is I just found a picture of a dog in a military-looking environment.
Oh damn.
In 1925, Greece and Bulgaria were like a couple of jilted lovers. If they were to be seen in the same street together, either a fight would break out or one would cross to the other side of the walk. So once again, tensions were high, especially along the border region called Petric, and that was all that was needed to start a full-blown war. Just a stupid reason. So on October 22nd, 1925, a Greek soldier was chasing his stray dog, but it crossed the border into Bulgaria.
Oh shit, dude.
I guess he should have had a border collie. That's whoever wrote this article that I pulled for research. That's their commentary. Now the Bulgarian sentry saw this. He took aim, but not at the dog. He shot and killed the Greek soldier who was just chasing the dog. Greece's response? Well, let's just say that they weren't very happy and they threatened revenge. Good to their word, Greece invaded Petric at the very next day, proving once again that the Great War was not the war to end all wars. The Bulgarian army offered only a token resistance, and the Greeks were only stopped by the League of Nations. So the League of Nations had to intercede because the Greeks got so salty about this, soldier that was killed.
Last year the Greeks won. I mean, the last
They
one we
did.
talked about them, they get their asses kicked. So this time, they're going against Bulgaria. I mean, Bulgaria, it's like, that kind of makes sense. Like, the Bulgarian military is like,
That's
what?
like Glass Joe shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I mean, like, they can thump their chest, but at the end of the day, they're Bulgaria. I mean, what the fuck do they have going?
Dun, dun. Yeah.
In the hierarchy of nations, Greece is higher than Bulgaria, dude.
Maybe just a little.
I mean, no, definitely.
Well,
Definitely.
how about that for a stupid war, TJ?
I'm okay with it.
I'll give you one more.
All right, go ahead.
Could this be the lamest war?
One more stupid war.
I don't even have a picture for it, so.
Yeah, this one, use your imagination, folks.
I'm
It's
just
the War of the Fleeing Wife, fought in 1879. Two wives of a Zulu chief, Shihao Kazonga, ran from their husband. The women ran and hid in a British-held territory, believing that they may be safe there. The problem is that the brother and sons of Kazonga pursued the women, captured them, and then killed them.
All right.
The British were less than impressed, mainly because their territory was invaded, and the following few ultimatums that were ignored, they went to war. This was actually part of the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879. Following some bloody encounters, the Zulu were eventually crushed with a loss of over 6,000 Zulus and 1,727 British men. So a little skirmish that was part of a bigger war actually was, the impetus for a much bigger war.
It seems
Started over a runaway wife.
It seems like a lot of times, especially with these wars, it seems really like what'll happen is that these countries or whatever they are, city states, are enemies to begin with, and it's just like, oh, this happened, so now it's just the justification. Like, the tension's already there. They don't.
Right.
They just need a catalyst to say, well, this is why. This is the rallying cry. So the bucket was just a rallying cry to invade.
Exactly, and the ear was the same
Yeah.
thing,
The
and
ear
the
was
dog was the same thing.
Yeah, it's just that's how they sell the war.
It's kind of like
people.
when you have someone you hate and you fucking swallow so much bullshit they do, but then one day it's like, he took a bite of my Snickers bar, and that's when you're fucking like, you know what, you piece of shit?
Yeah, the straw.
That's the final straw! Blah! How fucking dare you?
I didn't know Bulgaria. The interesting was I didn't know Bulgaria even had a rival like this. I don't even know where Bulgaria is.
But you know what? Like, if we're here to find the Lamest Wars,
I don't think we heard it yet.
I don't know what. If we're here to find the Lamest Wars, let's be real. We're not going to find it by looking at the shortest wars, because a war could be short and still kind of interesting.
and
Short and
brutal
sweet,
and
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to find it with the stupidest wars, because really, the prospect of war in general is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even really happen. So, I mean, like, and some of the wars are pretty cool, But really, what would make a war uncool and lame is if no one even died or barely anyone was even hurt.
Right.
So
Well,
I think we should take a look, Paul, at the most bloodless wars.
let's do it.
Let's do it, Paul.
How about the Lejar French War, 1883 until 1981? Now, let me quiz you guys. Where's Lejar? Where is the country of Lejar?
Africa?
You're both wrong. Whatever you say, there is no country of Lejar. Lejar is actually a town
Damn you, Paul.
in southern Spain.
Damn you, Paul Seeger.
In 1883, the Spanish king, Alfonso XII, was in Paris on an official state visit. Apparently, some of the local Parisians didn't take too kindly to his royal visit and insulted and even tried to attack him in the street.
Damn, dude. Not much of a fucking welcome. You know what, though? That's just like these fucking French assholes, dude. You go to Paris.
Pricks.
I mean, the guy's a fucking leader of another country. It's like, yeah, let's attack this piece of shit, dude.
Sacre bleu, get out of here, you Spanish piece of shit! Boo!
You want me?
Throw the rotten tomat at him! Boo!
The French are a rowdy bunch, though. So
They are a rowdy bunch. That is true. They are known for showing profound disrespect to people in positions of power.
yes, they are.
So not necessarily out of character for them. But anyway, the mayor of Lejar in southern Spain heard of this outrage, and the town declared a state of war on France, all 300 residents. The mayor was declared the terror of the Sierras for his warmongering. After 93 years of utterly peaceful war, King Juan Carlos of Spain dared to visit France. This time, nothing at all happened, and the visit proceeded peacefully. 4 years later, the people of Lejar decided that their king had been treated well and dignified, and they would immediately declare a ceasefire and end hostilities with France. So after 98 years of peaceful war, there were no casualties, not a single shot was fired.
See, I thought
That's
that
a lame-ass war.
No, it's not, though. It's really not. Because it's just some shitty little town. I mean, it was never a real war.
Sure.
It's basically like some little fucking shithole town somewhere is like, they disrespect our king. Fuck them. We are at war with them,
Yeah.
And then, 90-something years later, they're like,
All right, they were cool to the king.
I guess they were cool last time.
But you know what's fucking? It's fucked up too. Is like that was within their minds enough where it's like when the king was treated well, they're like, the war's over.
Yeah.
Like who would really be thinking about that? Like 90 years later, like remember the time they disrespected our king? 90 years.
When you're at war, you don't forget you're at war unless you're an American. Then you forget eventually.
Are we at a war right now?
We're not at war no more, are we? Huh? How many wars are going on right now?
17?
3, 4, 7, 8. I don't know.
I mean, so no cat. I mean, can we get a more bloodless war than that?
Probably not. I don't think we're going to get a more bloodless war, but it is not the only bloodless war.
Oh, okay.
This was the Pork and Beans War. It's not really has nothing to do with pork and beans.
Something worth.
It was only 1 year long, so it was fought from 1838 to 1839, and it was fought.
Why the fuck's it called the Pork and Beans War if it has nothing to do with pork and beans, man?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Pork
TJ.
and beans.
It was fought between the United States and the UK over the international boundary between the British colony of New Brunswick and the U.S. state of Maine. Several British were captured. No one was killed, but 2 Canadian militia were injured by black bears in unrelated incidents prior to the diplomatic compromise. So this one, I guess, wasn't totally bloodless. There were no shots fired. There were no casualties of war, but 2 militiamen that were in service of the war were attacked by a black bear.
Now, were they American black bears or Canadian black? Is that known?
I don't know. I don't know if it is known whether it was a black bear on the American bent or the Canadian bent, but that is a great question, Scotty.
Well, I mean, it was 2 Canadian militia that were injured by black bears, so you got to assume those were American black bears.
So, I mean, America did kind of
patriotic American black bears.
They heard about the war. They're like, let's go up there and fuck these motherfuckers up, dude.
Yeah.
But the suit was quickly settled diplomatically, without a shot fired.
2-0 places. Like almost no one lives in Maine, and almost certainly no one lives in New Brunswick.
And I've got one more for us, guys, and this was probably the weirdest one on this list, and some people might even argue that it doesn't even deserve to be called a war. Some people would. Let's get into it. This is the 335 Years' War, which is an alleged theoretical state of war between the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly. And I'm probably butchering that. Scilly, located off the southwest coast of England. The truth that
it's pronounced Rubruxshire, it is.
Yes, it's surely it is. It's like, fuck you. The truth is, the truth that this war ever existed is in dispute. It's said to have been extended by the lack of a peace treaty for 335 years without a single shot being fired, which would make it one of the world's longest wars and the longest bloodless war. Despite the uncertain validity of the declaration of war and thus uncertainty about whether or not a state of war actually ever existed in the first place, peace was finally declared in 1986. Bringing an end to any hypothetical war that may have been legally considered to exist. So this was a war that most people that lived in these places probably knew nothing about. That was the result of a hot-headed politician possibly making a declaration of war 335 years ago. Nothing ever happened between these two places. In fact, they engaged in open commerce with one another. And then eventually they were like, hey, let's get this off the books. Let's just make sure that nobody thinks we're at war anymore.
So I would say that's the lamest war.
I would say that's probably the lamest war. Nobody knew it was happening. Not a single battle was fought over it. There was really no rancor or acrimony behind it. It was just some. So I'd say we found it, right?
Yeah.
Would you guys agree? The lamest war ever.
I would agree.
The 335 years war.
I don't agree.
between Netherlands.
You know what
and
I think the
Isles of
lamest
Scilly.
war was?
What?
World War II.
Wow, TJ.
Because you know what? I think it's lame that people couldn't just get along, man.
Yeah, it's lame that Hitler couldn't just love the Jews.
Right. That's
Yeah,
what's
you're right.
lame. That's what's really lame, Paul.
You gotta.
A
You gotta
bloodless war isn't lame. The bloody est war is what's lame.
You know what's fucking lame, dude?
Wow.
Lame.
You faggot.
Tell me something I don't know. Tell me something I don't know about myself, TJ.
Something you don't know about yourself.
Yeah. You told me you stated the obvious, so
I know a lot of things about you, but I don't know if I know anything about you that you don't know.
yeah, tell me something I don't know about myself, TJ. Because I could sit here all day long and have you insult me, TJ, and say here's your flaw, here's your flaw. But you know what, TJ? I've already lived those flaws. So I don't really give a shit.
Wow.
So why don't you tell me a fucking flaw that I don't know, motherfucker?
Damn. The gauntlet is down.
Let me think about
You
it.
got anything?
Let me think about it.
But I do object. I think the lamest fucking war, I'll be honest with you, is the American Revolution, dude. We should have fucking stayed with Britain. Sorry I have to say it. Someone's got to say it in the room. We got Donald Trump now. I mean, I know their country's fucked up too, but they're a little bit less fucked up than us. We'll just go back.
Hashtag become the colonies again.
We fucked up, dude. We fucked up. I mean,
Let's
look,
give them back that look. We got 50 colonies. We're sorry.
Make America Britons again.
Yeah, dude.
let's just do it.
I like it.
Send an apology letter to the Queen.
Like, look, we fucked up. We know.
Is it
I
too
dig
late
it,
to
dude.
come back?
Yeah, come on.
Well, all is forgiven. You know, come on.
Well, you guys burned the White House. You know, we've done some shit. Everyone's made mistakes.
You've said things, we've said things, you've done things, we've done things. Look, we're ready to come back.
That's true.
We tried it out. We had a couple good fucking, centuries, but,
I'm more
we got
powerful.
to keep our regional food,
can-
but other than that,
I mean, look,
we're coming back
there can
home.
be a compromise. So a lot of people in America don't get butthurt. Like, look, we're just making, the global United States, you
Right.
know? United.
Yeah. Under the rule
the
of the
monarchy.
British monarchy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but still, united.
We got to get rid of the parliaments over there, too. I want to
Yeah,
be.
they all suck.
Oh, straight dictatorship.
We got to get
dude.
right back under the monarchy again.
Yeah.
It's time to press the
Who's
hard
next in line?
reset
Charles,
button.
right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
We got to start buttering up Prince Charles because that old queen is going to go any second.
Yeah, a lot of
She's
people
old.
said that,
She's an old leader, TJ.
She is. She's very old.
not-
Trying to segue, huh?
That's right? Isn't it great?
There you go. Yeah, so
We haven't done one of these split episodes in a while.
not in a while, but today we're going to change all that.
Little
It's time-
two-topicer.
Little two-topic episode. Don't know how long this second topic will go, but whatever.
Speaking of old, dude, when Trump met the Queen, that Paul, if anything, speaks to the point that some old people can still have their shit together and some don't.
Well, that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. I tweeted some shit yesterday and today that got me a little bit of heat. I don't know. It seemed like a pretty divided topic amongst the people that responded to me.
Right.
And I tweeted about maybe it's time for us to talk about an upper age limit for serving in political positions. We have a lower age limit for most of them,
President being 35.
which I think is a little high, personally. I think 30 would be okay for a president if, once again, they were a smart and accomplished person. Anyway, that's notwithstanding. We've got that lower age limit, but there really is no upper age limit. There's a 101-year-old, guy that wants to run for president. He can do it. He can win it. He can serve it. And I don't think that that's necessarily a good thing. I think I am for an upper age limit for the presidency. TJ, you seem to be kind of maybe against it.
Yeah, I'm against it.
Well, let's kind of dig into the meat of why.
All right, so here you're on one of the things that I think was the precursor for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, to taking this position is just looking at the Trump, first of all, being 72, 73.
Yeah.
And then one of his top opponents, a very likely 2020 contender, Bernie Sanders, likely to
top the ticket.
even older.
Let's be honest.
Well, according to the Iowa poll, he's beat Biden's a little bit ahead of him in polling in Iowa, at least.
Well, that's because
He's
he's not
just
out there
biding
working.
his time,
Right.
TJ.
Yeah. And Biden's really old. He's in his mid-70s. I think he's 76. We're going to take a look at all their ages. Why don't we just start by doing that, honestly?
Yeah, there's a trend in America.
So let's just take a look at some of this.
Especially in the presidency.
So Elizabeth Warren, she's a very likely 2020 contender,
dude.
69 years old.
She'll be 71 in 2020.
Right. Bernie Sanders, 77
He'll
currently.
be 79 in 2020.
Joe Biden, 76.
He'll be 78 in 2020.
Donald Trump, 72.
74.
He'll be 74 years
He'll
old.
be 74 in 2020.
Hillary Clinton, 71.
73.
Please don't run Hillary.
She will.
Then we have some long shot people.
I don't
but
think he's going to run, but...
he is running. He plans
He's
to run.
running.
Oh, really? Beautiful.
He'd be 50.
He'd be 40.
That's
he's 48,
like a
about
pretty.
50 now.
That's not too old.
Tulsi Gabbard's another one I've heard.
Definitely
mentioned.
not too old.
Just running at 37 there. Beto O'Rourke, another name being
He'd
tossed
be
around.
48.
Yep.
48 years old as of that time.
So there's some young candidates.
Michael Bloomberg,
Ancient,
another guy
the
talking about
78.
running, 76, only a year
Yeah,
under
he'll be
Bernie.
78.
You got Sherrod Brown, who I don't really know much about, but he's 66.
Senator from Ohio.
Yeah, he'll be pushing 70.
Actually, I think was your senator at one point, TJ.
Yep, I think you're right. I saw his signs around. Cory Booker, another guy I've heard tossed around as a potential 2020 guy, 49 years of age.
So
He'll
51.
be 51.
And here's Andrew Cuomo, current governor of New York, I believe.
He'll be in his mid-60s. So, yeah,
61 now, be about 63.
all these
So you see that the candidates definitely skew older, for sure.
And not only that, but the people that we actually elect have skewed older and older as time has gone on
Right.
as well.
Yeah. As life expectancy
In my
increases
lifetime,
stuff, too,
we've
probably.
had some of that record has been broken multiple times. I think Ronald Reagan
was the oldest
Yep.
at the time he was entered in office, and then Trump. was the oldest.
Trump broke it again.
Trump is the oldest for his
Yes.
first term.
and we're
president.
looking at a probable candidacy of two late 70-year-old gentlemen
Yes.
in 2020.
And if Bernie Sanders were to actually run against Trump and win, he would be far and away the oldest first term president ever elected.
He'd run away with it.
Yeah, he'd be
You
dominant
don't
in
see
that
this as a
category.
problem.
I see how it could potentially be a problem, but no, not really.
So, Paul, why do you see it as?
I
a
have
problem?
I have a bunch of angles as to why I see this as a problem, and the
All right.
first one that we can talk
Okay.
about is cognitive function.
I have an article related to that if you
Sure.
want to look at it.
Sure.
That's Justin Trudeau.
Oh, Justin.
Oh, Justin.
Paul told me to pull up a picture of Justin Trudeau.
my.
Well, we'll go to
Just so
that
he can
later.
jerk
That's
off
another
to
one of
it.
my
Yeah,
points.
we'll get into that
All right.
in a minute.
So here's an article on age-related cognitive decline. I'm sure it says all the stuff Paul's about to say.
I mean,
but,
I'm by no means an expert on this, but from what I understand, it's not typical outside of disease for old people to necessarily lose cognitive functions.
right.
They just get slower.
Yes.
So, and some of them get less reliable. So, like, they've shown that, like, old people without disease, they don't necessarily lose long-term memory, but their short-term memory becomes less reliable, becomes less accessible. They're not necessarily, they don't lose necessarily knowledge, but accessing it becomes harder for them. Their functions become slower
All right, let's take a look
and
at
more
what,
deliberate.
So some of this says, all aging humans will develop some degree of decline in cognitive capacity as time progresses. Data indicates that deterioration of the biological framework that underlies the ability to think and reason begins as early as the mid-20s and includes a drop in regional brain volume, loss of myelin integrity, cortical thinning, impaired serotonin, acetylcholine, and dopamine receptor binding and signaling, accumulation of neurofibrillary. Yeah, I don't know. Mine has declined.
Yeah, your mine's already the decline's already begun in your case.
And altered concentrations of various brain metabolites. Cumulatively, these changes give rise to a variety of symptoms associated with aging, such as forgetfulness, decreased ability to maintain focus, and decreased problem-solving capability. If left unchecked, symptoms oftentimes progress into more serious
Oh, you just need some
conditions,
ancient Chinese herbs.
such as dementia and depression, or even Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, they believe. I believe all the case of Alzheimer's or dementia, but it's like plaque in your brain. Like these plaques form in your brain,
Right. Yeah.
and you're not able to just like it impairs your ability to function.
So I'm not saying that Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump has Alzheimer's or is going to get Alzheimer's. There is a function built into the Constitution if that happens. If a president is too impaired
another
to
thing we
carry
know
out his
is-
duties, he can be removed. But It's
We know
it's
that
the other little things.
We
that
do
bother
know
me.
that Reagan was having Alzheimer's symptoms.
But here's the thing: as you get older,
within his presidency.
when I looked this up, people that are age 70 have about a 1 in 10% chance of having the symptoms of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Right.
By the time you hit about 80, which is Bernie Sanders, if he was elected, he'd be about 82.
He'd be right about there.
He'd be about 38, roughly about a 38% chance that he would in fact.
So
have
roughly
those
like a
symptoms.
1 in 3 chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Of developing.
And
Some
this
sort
is
of
this just anybody.
cognitive,
I mean, look, maybe Bernie Sanders is like one of those like Gore Vidal kind of people that just like live forever, and they just. I mean, there's some decline, but they're still able.
Well,
to...
I just think about people like Noam Chomsky, who's 90 years old and still going out there killing it. Gore Vidal, up into his 70s, was out there,
But
doing
is
it.
Noam Chomsky? You see, here's the thing. Noam Chomsky is an intellectual.
Yes.
sure.
If you side by side Noam, is he the same in terms of quickness and wit and ability as he was?
It's really
when
hard
he
to
was a
tell
younger
because
man?
he was never.
Yeah,
really,
he was never a big
He was never really
wit.
like quick or witty.
Right, but
necessarily. It was more of just his grasp of geopolitics, and I think that he still has that. But I mean, coming at it from the perspective of a layman, would I really even notice if there was a decline? Because at the level he's at, I'm not near that. So,
Well, in his instance,
kind of hard to know.
A minor decline in those cognitive functions doesn't really matter. If he still retains his perspective, he can still be an intellectual, and it's not going to harm anybody.
Right.
A president that has impaired cognitive function, short-term memory loss, the inability to multitask is a big one.
Right.
Which is a huge. You got to imagine one of the jobs that you have to multitask hardest at in the world is the presidency.
Well,
The ability-
multitasking
hold on.
is something of a myth anyway. But
Well, okay. Well, you understand, then whatever underlies that myth, the ability to handle multiple projects at once and keep them all in mind and keep them all going at once.
Right, yeah.
That ability
multiple irons in the fire.
degrades, right. The ability to process and handle stress, obviously, as you get older, degrades. What's the most stressful job in the world? The presidency. And it has to be, right? Is there a job in
we've
this world
seen
that
how-
has more weight on its shoulders?
We've definitely seen how it's weighed heavily. I mean, even watching Trump, you go watch him in his debates with the Republicans a few years ago, and he's a totally different guy than he is today. I mean, he definitely seems more beaten down now. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the, constant investigations and all of the
stress. Well, here's something
stresses related to trying to just
TJ,
keep his administration
Here's some things that
together.
actually happen to your brain as you age.
Right.
As certain parts of the brain shrink, especially those important to learning and other complex mental activities.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. In certain brain regions, communication between neurons, nerve cells, can be reduced. Blood flow in the brain may also decrease, and inflammation, which occurs when the body in response to an injury or disease, may increase. So there's a lot of factors. So I mean, like when you get to this age range, I mean, like there's decreased neuron activity. There's less blood flow to your brain in general. Your brain is aged. I mean, like the rigors of just obviously Bernie's appearance, like he's bald and he has all those effects of aging. His brain is also aged just as much.
Right.
I mean, so do you think there's, in my view with this, I think that age can be one of the factors, but I think it has to be, they need a mental evaluation. And if there's sufficient testing that can show this person has the proper mental capacity, then I think that needs to be explored.
I think that.
But the problem is that I think unless someone shows,
I just
if they're
don't-
able to mask those symptoms,
I mean, like, you can't. There's only so much you could do to actually mask them, because we actually get to see.
look how little
that-
we see Trump.
Yeah, but we actually get to see the heavy lifting that goes into that. Like, it's like you can go around with a bunch of fake muscles, but if you can't actually lift the big heavy weight, people are going to catch on. Those aren't real muscles. I think that when Bernie Sanders goes out there, he's fast. I don't really see that he's slow. I don't really see that he's confused. He doesn't understand what's being said to him.
But
But
It
that's
seems
not,
like
that's
he's,
not what I'm-
what if they
he's
don't-
sharp. He's rattling
But
them
what if
off
that
the
happens to
policy.
you-
I don't think anyone else.
what if 1 or 2 years in, though, that does happen to him?
Or think about this, TJ. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe he is still sharp enough to go out there, be a politician, be a campaigner, say the things that people want to hear. But maybe he's been more minorly impacted and his decision making has been impacted.
Right.
His ability to multitask or whatever you want to call it, his ability to process multiple irons in the fire is impaired and slowed at a detriment to the country. Don't you think that's something that could happen even with Bernie Sanders seeming spry up at the podium?
No, because you still have to have a baseline level of comparison. So, like, I think Bernie Sanders is 10% less capable than he was, however many years ago. That's still going to put him heads above tons of other
How do you
politicians.
know that? Where do you come up? What if it's more like 30?
I don't know. I'm just saying that that's why I'm saying you have to set a benchmark, because even if his judgment is impaired, there's a lot of young people running whose judgment is not that great either.
Right.
It's probably worse.
We're talking about an aspect of humanity, though, that we know leads to an impairment of judgment.
Right.
Which is the natural process of aging.
Yeah.
We also have rules for how old you can be, how young you can be to run
you
for
can't
the
be-
same reason.
You can't be 15 and
for
become
the same
president.
reason, because it's assumed that people before a certain age don't have the cognitive development and the skill set and the ability to process information. Why can't we ask that same question?
I think it's more
of
about
70 and 80-year-old men.
I think it's more about experience at that point, though. I think it's more that, like, someone under 35 really wouldn't have the experience under their belt or hasn't lived long enough to really know what they're talking about. I don't know if it's necessarily a matter
you don't think
cognitive development that we don't let a 21-year-old become president.
So you don't feel there should be any criteria as far as age is concerned, or even if someone displays symptoms of that?
I think that
these
I think
issues,
I think it's a valid issue to bring up. I don't think that the age issue is totally an invalid issue, but I just think that the electorate should be able to decide that. I don't think there should be an arbitrary rule that says this person can't run because they're too old, because I view it as a form of discrimination. I think if people look at the person and they say, I think that he is of sound judgment and I believe that he will remain of sound judgment, then and I think he's the best fit to run this country, then I think that's who they should choose.
What if that's misrepresented away? What if, like Paul said, like you only see some of it, but you don't see
Trump?
the totality of it?
What about Trump? This was brought up before he was ever president.
Right.
The difference between Trump in the 1980s and Trump now in terms of
You could
ability
go
to
pull
speak,
you
ability
could probably go pull a fucking
process
video.
information.
Yeah.
The dude is two different people. It came up during the fucking campaign, but people didn't think it was important that he seemed so impaired in comparison to himself 30 years prior.
Right, and that's the choice the American people made.
Right, no, I get that, and you can end any fucking discussion on that note. Yeah, they chose it. I'm talking about changing.
Was it a good decision,
the rules.
though?
Yeah,
Right.
Because it's not just this. This isn't just the only angle.
But I mean, look, people had already looked at Trump, and it was plain to see from most people's
I
perspective.
don't think it was part of the narrative,
that there-
really, though.
Right, but it was plain to see that there'd been a cognitive decline from the Trump of the 80s and 90s to the Trump of 2016.
Maybe it was obvious to you, but I don't think it was obvious to a lot of people.
Well, if it wasn't obvious to them, then just how impaired is the fucking electorate?
What? Okay, so do you
part of the problem,
do you
I
argue
agree.
with the Grim Reaper then? Let's say that Bernie is totally lucid and remains totally lucid, and so is Trump, and so is any 80-year-old we decide to put at the helm.
Right.
All right. What do you say about how this like old like how do you say oldening of the fucking population of presidents?
Right.
Artificially empowering the vice. The oldening.
The oldening.
Yeah, the oldening is happening, and what it's doing is it's artificially empowering the position of the vice president, a person who traditionally doesn't even really
Symbolic.
participate all that much in the campaign process.
Yeah.
And whose policies aren't at the forefront and aren't what's discussed during the electorate. We could elect Bernie Sanders, and he could just have a heart attack from the excitement. We've got President Jill Stein. You know what I mean? It artificially empowers the vice presidency by us rolling the dice that an 80-year-old man's not going to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too. I mean, beyond that...
look, the health of potential presidential candidates tends to be heavily scrutinized.
But nothing seems to be
I'm in
done about it.
perfect health.
It's scrutinized. We find out that Trump is morbidly obese at his age.
But I mean, look,
but nothing's done about it.
When it comes to any candidate, though, I just feel like there's a whole plethora of pros and cons that you just have to sit down and weigh out. And do I think that, Bernie's really old, is that a con? I think it is a con. Would I much rather him be a guy in his 50s or 60s even? Sure. But when I see, hey, on the policy substance issues, I feel like he's way closer to me than anybody else. I'm not just going to say, well, but he's old, so maybe he'll die, or maybe he's going to get dementia or something.
Right.
Because if I saw the young, fresh alternative that I thought was just as genuine and just as sincere and just as principled and had just as much evidence backing up that they said they are who they say they are, then I'd be like, all right, well, maybe we don't have to consider that. But, I mean, in this boat that we're in now, I don't think that we can lose the potential Bernie Sanders presidency over this age issue.
Right. That seems to be what a lot of the negative response to my implication. I just don't think you can dance around the idea that Bernie Sanders is old enough that he might be dangerous in the presidency. When people develop dementia, they become unreasonable, irrational, reactionary. Yeah. These are all things that happen. And to expose ourselves unnecessarily to having a leader with so much power and is so much the face, and that's the third thing I want to go to is the face of our nation. To just throw that aside and then go like, well, Bernie's good enough that none of that matters. Not to me.
I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's so good that none of that matters.
Paul,
that is kind of what you're saying,
Paul,
though.
No, I'm saying that if you're going to weigh out all of the different factors, I think he's too good on too many of those to let that be the bee in the fucking bonnet.
The pros outweigh the cons.
Ointment. I think the pros outweigh the cons. And there's no guarantee he's going to get dementia. There's no guarantee he's going to die. Is it statistically more likely those things will happen?
Of course
it is.
Look at and
the older he gets, the more those dice are rolled, Paul, which is the point of setting an upper limit.
I have so Paul, what do you believe if it was your decision? I mean, so basically up to you. What would you like to see happen?
65 at their first term.
65 at their first term. So how did you come to that?
That's the age of retirement.
So that's how you came to that number, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think it makes sense. I mean, I would go maybe 5 years later, maybe 70 at their first term being the absolute latest. But I think it would be smart for us to set some limitations on this, to hedge our bets against some of these dice rolls. And here's a third position, TJ.
All right.
What about the optics? Now, this is kind of a cynical position.
Is this where you want me to go to?
Yeah, go to Trudeau
here.
Yeah. This is a cynical position, and it doesn't really pay any homage to policy or anything, and I know that's very important. But I think it's also important how we are perceived internationally.
I mean, a lot of people consider Trudeau to be a joke.
Well, a lot of people do.
Right.
But let me explain to you why I had you pull him up. Because when Trudeau goes to represent the Canadian people at a treaty signing or a climate talk or
he looks good.
A G20 summit.
Yeah.
He looks good. He represents them well. Say what you want about him. He's intelligent. He's well-spoken. He's a sharp political mind. He knows how to glad hand. He knows how to play the game. And he knows how to be a diplomat. So even though the Canadians are not a huge superpower in terms of their economic strength or their military might, they still have a leader that when he goes forth, he projects an image. Wherever Trudeau goes, he takes the image of the Canadian people with him. And when they see him, when people outside of the United States or outside of the West see him, they see a young, intelligent person, courteous, kind, receptive to courtesy, all the things that you want in a statesman. And with the addition of it portraying Canada as a place where young, vibrant people are stepping up to take the reins of their own country.
Sure.
That's an optic that looks good in the world and that commands a certain amount of respect from the world. An endless procession of doddering old men has a different effect, I think, in the world. Trump alone has destroyed pretty much like everything that was done since America was founded in terms of developing respect and admiration in other countries, and deference in other countries.
Trump doesn't really believe in diplomacy.
I don't really know if that's.
And I think a lot of that
because Trump looks old. Because I really don't think he does.
I think it's because he is old. I think it's because he's become a person that doesn't see the forest for the trees. He's too old, too impaired, too doddered, and he's making a fool out of all of us.
What Trump doesn't really see is it's like, this is the Trump. Like, I'm gonna do everything different. Trump doesn't see that he's a steward of these relationships, and these things are built over generations. It doesn't happen overnight.
I don't really feel like I lay as much of the blame about why Trump is bad on his age as you do.
Well,
I do think he was a bit more eloquent in the past. But he's pretty much always been a brash, obnoxious moron.
I don't think that it's only age. I don't think that it's fair to say, oh, it's just his age. I mean, obviously that's part of it.
I'm not saying his age made him a brash, obnoxious moron. I'm saying his age made him a cognitively impaired, brash, obnoxious moron.
I think that he might have always been a little
I'm saying the fact that he was more well-spoken, more lucid, more capable of projecting an idea when he was a younger man than he is now as a president should be of concern to everybody in this fucking country.
Seeing is believing. Let's take a fucking look at Trump back in the day.
It's like
When he was in his
it's like the
30s.
bizarro world. Yeah, find 35-year-old Trump or 40-year-old Trump or even 50-year-old Trump, and you're going to find somebody that's way more lucid.
Here, let's take a look. This is going to get a little bit into present day Trump.
Donald Trump was a New York tabloid fixture. All through the 1980s, Trump was busy building something new, and it wasn't a skyscraper.
Billionaire developer Donald Trump has put his name on a New York City hotel, shopping center, and apartment buildings.
I mean,
as
can we
well
hear
as a
him
casino
speak in
Atlantic
this, or is
City.
this just going to be like
I
a...
don't know.
New York
There
City.
we go.
That I think Donald Trump is an artful liar. I think he is a greedy, vicious, and arrogant man.
Well, I don't know, is that supposed to be a compliment or not? I'm not sure.
He waged a years-long battle with New York City Mayor Ed Koch.
Yeah, I'd like to get something more of him uninterrupted speaking.
Yeah, like an interview with him or something.
Yeah, Bill.
Which is what I search for.
I mean, yeah, we want him talking for an extended period of time.
So let's see. All right, so here he is, an interview with Larry King.
Okay.
Could the Manhattan
In
magnate
the
be eyeing
80s.
the White House, or is he just
So 1987.
calling a bluff?
So
Are
the year I was
you a
born.
Republican, Donald?
I'm a Republican, yes.
So if there were politics, it would be as a Republican.
It would be, I guess, as a Republican, but I don't see that there will be politics.
Why the ad then? I mean, you said you wanted to say it. There's a lot of ways you can say things. I guess an ad is one way. You could have called up shows like this who would have been trying to have you come on. Why now?
Well, it was very easy. I was tired, and I think a lot of people are tired of watching other countries ripping off the United States. This is a great country. They laugh at us. Behind our backs, they laugh at us because of our own stupidity and the leaders. I mean, what we have a Persian Gulf situation. You saw what happened today. Billions and billions of dollars are being spent on getting oil for Japan, and they're not paying anything for it. Essentially.
I'm really not sensing too much of a greater degree of intelligence here. He just looks a little younger.
It's not intelligence that I'm talking about.
But
I'm
he's
talking
not-
about his lucidity.
Yeah, he's more coherent. He's more put
his
together.
coherence, his ability to stay on topic. If you asked Donald Trump this question today, he'd
Let's
be
watch
like,
him now.
Collusion, witch hunt, Russia, bullshit,
I don't know.
blah, blah, blah. The media is the enemy of the people.
I really don't feel like his answer today would be all that
Okay,
different.
would
on
be.
that.
Let's go ahead and find a
It doesn't really
2017.
sound very lucid here. He
would
sounds
be.
about the same level of bumbling idiot now as he did then.
I don't know.
Let's take a look. I don't know. Let's see. What's the most recent interview with Trump?
I mean, look, there's definitely.
Like, I think you're trying to
I don't
paint me
think
as
it's
somebody
nine-
that says that old age just makes you like a dumbass caveman. That's not the issue. The issue is that he is slower and less capable of having a normal conversation than he was at this time. And his whole job is having conversation.
This guy wanders off fucking stage, dude.
A tabloid publisher's deal to hush money.
Let's see here.
We made a payment. And then you have the other situation, and every lawyer, look, Trump didn't violate campaign finance laws, and neither did the president. Trump XA.
Dude, Trump likes these.
So
He
they're
really
saying-
likes these papers
I
now.
interviewed him on my program.
It's like a Trump thing
Okay.
now, dude.
I'm going to hand you evidence.
Yes.
Look,
He's
I'm right.
just printed out some articles
Look,
online.
I'm right. I print out this news from FoxNews.com.
Campaign. Nobody, except for me, would be looked at like this. Nobody. What about Congress, where they have a slush fund and millions of dollars is paid out each year? They have a slush fund. Millions. They don't talk about campaign finance anything. Have you ever heard of campaign finance list? Have they listed that on their campaign finance sheets? No. Everyone
Well, I've
says,
covered that
number
story.
one,
I'm
they
waiting
say-
for them to dig into the slush
Number
fund.
one, they say it's not a campaign finance
Continuously.
violation. Number two, or it's not even under campaign finance. Number two, if it was, it's
What
not even a
propaganda
violation.
this shit is,
Number
dude.
three, it's a civil matter. You know, President Obama had a really big one from 10 times more money, much more money. And you know what? He paid a fine. I'm the only one that this happens to.
So Robert Ray, former special.
Such a victim.
Poor me.
Wow.
I don't really see a huge difference.
Well, I can tell a pretty stark
They're
difference.
paying nothing for.
Let's go back here.
Is going back
Yeah,
and
just
forth.
skip a little ahead in
Our
this.
men are
Let's find a
protected,
different
losing
topic.
Their lives. I mean, they're losing their lives, Larry. We're spending billions.
Same
and billions
repetition
in
of
protection,
phrases
and those
and
tankers
words.
are going over to Japan.
Same vagaries.
It's just preposterous. I watched the Kuwaiti oil minister the other day laughing as he was explaining how much money they intend to make with the Bridgeton, which has been a total disaster. The Bridgeton, and I said
Same
to myself,
basic
"Isn't that a shame?"
vocab.
He's talking about out of when you're finished, if you do a good job.
Do you want a break because of what you do? In other words, are you saying to New York and other places, I'll come in and do this, please give me what you will not give someone else?
No, I'm not looking for breaks. I think I probably would have a harder time getting breaks. I mean, you talk about Ed Koch. the man tried to fight me on so many different things, and he's failed in each case. He's failed, and that's nice. I like beating it. I really get a charge out of beating Ed Koch. And, you know, it's just one of those things. But he's fought me on a lot of different things. He's consistently fought me, and he's consistently lost.
In other words, you don't want more or less than anyone else would get.
I don't want more or less than anybody.
I mean,
So you don't see a difference.
Do you really? Other than the words coming out of a younger man's mouth,
Right.
it sounds like his speech patterns, his vocabulary, his
That-
use of tremendous, his use of
Right.
repetition.
That was never
It's-
my contention.
Okay.
My
What's the
contention was
contention?
never that he got dumber because he got older.
Right.
If he was able to do this then, he's able to do it basically now.
Right.
His demeanor is utterly different. Utterly and completely different. He's more exasperated. You can tell he's more labored in talking.
Well, he's under a lot more stress now.
Well, I mean, I guess you could make that angle too. But I've never seen Donald Trump during that whole campaign be this quiet and calm when he was explaining his shit.
I mean, even if you're talking about Donald,
He is like, he's so elevated now, and everything seems
If
like
you
it
talk
comes at
about-
such a cost to him personally.
if you even talk about Donald Trump a few years ago on the campaign trail, I feel like you're talking about a very different Donald Trump than the one that you see now. Because even then he's displaying a lot more sharpness, a lot more quickness.
Well, he's 72 now.
Right, but he was 70 then.
Right.
So I mean, you know,
We just heard that after 70, rapid onset fucking Alzheimer's and dementia becomes
1 in 10. Yeah.
1 in 10.
Right. And I don't know if I don't know if he's suffering from that. I just think that maybe the guy is overstressed by the position that
Look,
he's in. He's being investigated from
I
multiple
think-
sources. The presidency job that he obviously expected to be cushy and easy is
I think,
not.
I think we're kind of getting off the rails because, and I'll tell you why. Because I think this is, I think this issue. I think with Paul saying, "Hey, younger people, but 65 is the cutoff," and you saying this, like, I think we have to err on the side of this. Unless there's a clear impediment, if there's a clear ability to not be able to perform the duties of the presidency, like dementia is evidently set in, or there's some physical impairment. I think that, like, you guys are having this debate about this clip. We need to really look at it and have, I would say, if the president is challenged on that, there needs to be a process or a test. But if they pass that test, then they should be able to do the job, because I think that some of it's subjective.
Well,
to a
look, I
degree.
mean, we already had this.
Unless in the case of obvious impairment.
Look, we already had a thing with Trump, though. Just to play devil's advocate against my own position here, we already had a thing with Trump where his mental fortitude has been questioned
numerous times,
and all he did was get some bullshit doctor that was in his pocket to say, "Yep, he's great, tip-top shape, smart as a whip."
I think it should be independent of them.
See, like that's why I think we need to set a hard limit, because who are you going to trust? The doctor that the president picks? Like, yeah, exactly.
But isn't that
Trump-
kind of getting to the deeper issue of American politics, which is corruption? Because people talk about all this shit. Oh my God, we want the president to do this or do that. As long as our society is so tolerant of absolute corruption in politics, then that's all we're going to keep getting. Because you're right. If we had a society where we actually had faith in institutions and faith that it would be objectively done, then people wouldn't have those concerns. They'd be like, yeah, let there be a litmus test. Let there be some sort of test to do that. But look, the reason I don't think those changes, number one, it's in the Constitution. And we know that as far as most people are concerned in this country, that's done.
Right.
We're not adding. I mean, we can amend it, and we probably should, but we don't.
And the lower limit of 35 is something that's outlined in the Constitution.
It is.
So I don't know if you need actually a constitutional amendment to even put a maximum age on it.
You probably would.
I don't know if a regular law would be able to do the job. I think you might actually have to amend the Constitution.
Yeah, it would probably
to
need
get that. I'm not sure.
You
I'm
need
not
a
a legal. I'm
constitutional
not a
amendment.
legal expert. I'm not a legal scholar. I don't know what the fuck
Well,
I'm
yeah,
talking
right.
about.
Any impediments
disclaimer,
on any impediments on who can run and when, I think would probably have to be amended into the Constitution.
If me and Paul actually both had real political power and could actually sort of like affect our will on this process,
But I think that,
I would propose a compromise of maybe beyond a certain age, the president has to undergo
fitness test?
Yeah, like a mental acuity test.
mental
to check for signs of dementia and Alzheimer's.
We're
from
talking
an
about
independent body.
mental, but if you have a lot of health issues, like that can
Right.
affect you too.
And presidents already undergo that. They just don't undergo the mental evaluation.
Who's the
aspect.
independent body? What's the relationship that they have with
It'd
the
have to be
government?
something that both sides would have to agree on. That this is an independent person that's
both
not,
sides would probably agree on the way to obfuscate shit because they both want to be able to do it when they're in power. So we're up shit's creek. Whereas if we set a hard limit of 65, we're not. Then we know that nobody with dementia is going to be coddled through the last 2 years of their presidency like Ronald Reagan was with his finger on the fucking button.
Dump some more leaves in the pool.
Yeah, there you go, President Ronnie. I'll wheel you down by the pond and let you feed the ducks.
I mean, even a younger person could find themselves in a situation where
early onset dementia.
Well, not even that, but
oh my God, here we go. Yes, a younger person could get dementia or go crazy or have some toxoplasmosis that makes them go nuts.
We're still talking about statistical fucking probabilities.
Right. We're talking about the fact that old people, that happens to them a lot more than it happens to young people, and we're rolling the dice every time we elect a septuagenarian or an octogenarian to the office.
And I think people should have the right to roll those dice.
And there's really not a process that I can trust, though. Here's the thing. We're rolling those dice without any protection on the back end. Right. Because there is a process by which a person can be evaluated and removed from the presidency, but it's highly politicized. There's no independent oversight. There's no oversight from the body politic that elected the person. It's just, if he goes demented, we get to listen to Lindsey Graham go, I had a talk with the president the other day, and he seems fine. You know what I mean? And while he's sitting in the back fucking yard with a blanket over his lap and a wheelchair, humming tunes to himself, humming the fucking theme song to The Apprentice and pretending he's still on it, firing the ducks. You know what I mean? Like, do you want that? I don't. And that's a distinct possibility if he gets reelected. And it's a distinct possibility if Bernie Sanders gets reelected, because he's going to be in that 1 in 3 category.
Right.
Another thing, too, TJ, is what about stability? Because if you elect older people and they're more likely to die, they suddenly die. Yeah, then you say, oh, there's the vice president, so we've thought about that. But a lot of people didn't really elect the vice president.
The vice president doesn't campaign anywhere near as hard as the president does. His policies are way more fucking nebulous.
You're buying into the president.
Right. So we're electing the president, and then we get to get ruled over by the vice president because we elected an 80-year-old that dropped dead from the stress of the office or just natural causes.
I think that probably in a situation where you're considering electing someone who's damn near 80, you're probably going to you're probably going to be paying a little bit closer attention to who the vice president is.
Oh, you mean like we did with Sarah Palin?
That's why he.
Why we had a crusty old 70-year-old fucking dude.
That was at least one of the big reasons why
John
McCain
made literally one of the biggest political blunders of the 20th century.
No, Sarah Palin never squeaked by because they needed women.
And by the way, Sarah Palin, young, John McCain, old. I think that she was more impaired than he was.
She was also more dynamic on the campaign than he was.
Well, he's basically a fucking mummy, but
case in point.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that cognitively he was probably more intact to his. I think John McCain on his deathbed was probably more lucid than Sarah Palin on her best day. Not that she should be a fucking litmus test for anything. But no, I think it's up to the American people. I could see some of the points you bring up, but I think that you should be able to roll those dice if you want to.
Well, I like to at least know what the back end is before I roll the dice on something. And,
right, and I think
when the House can change the bet.
It kind of has a prior restraint kind of thing going on, too. Not that this is a criminal matter, but I mean, just assume that, well, statistically, this person's more likely to have this happen, so we got to fucking base it on that. I mean, I don't know.
I think what Paul is getting at more than anything,
I don't think we need to take those sort of preemptive measures.
Why is it okay to circumvent people's will if they decide that there's an 18-year-old that's just a brilliant, like David, what's his name? David Hogg. This kid that was in that shooting, the Parkland shooting or whatever it was, right? Let's say that this huge political movement builds up around him.
Yeah.
Why is the will of the people undermined, and why is prior restraint okay? Why do we say that David Hogg, a 19-year-old, is too young, too inexperienced to do what the people want him to do?
If I was given the choice between getting rid of the lower age limit or adding an upper age limit, I would get rid of the lower age limit. So I think that if the American people truly did think an 18-year-old was ready to shoulder the burden of the presidency, they were just that exceptional of a person where they could win that election and convince people that they have the leadership skills already in life necessary to run this country, and America wants to make that choice, I think that's the choice they should make.
I think what Paul's really arguing more than anything is let's fucking force some fucking new blood into politics. Let's get the same old fucking corporate vampires out.
It should be of grave concern that a lot of the people running this country were born in the 40s and shit.
And they're totally out of touch.
And the 30s and the 20s.
I don't think that you can just shove youth down people's throats if there's not actually any good young candidates. I haven't seen them. Where are they?
I think they're buried I think guys like Ojeda and Ocasio-Cortez and these kind of new firebrand young politicians have been buried under the Pelosi's and the McCains and the McConnells and the Trumps.
You know how the political system fucking works. Like in our area, it was Steve Scalise versus some token fucking Democrat that had $20,000 in campaign.
They don't have the money. They don't have the support. They don't have the name recognition.
When Ocasio-Cortez won, she won against someone who had like 9 times the amount of funding. Like he had millions of dollars, and she had like $200,000. That was crowdfunded by the internet.
That's because she ran a grassroots campaign that actually captured the imagination and enthusiasm of the people.
And you know what, dude? There are dozens of grassroots campaigns that captured the imagination and enthusiasm of the people that got squashed by Mitch McConnell's and Pelosi's and Kelsey Graham's and
hey, sometimes it's a squeaker.
Kelsey Graham's.
Kelsey Graham's.
Kelsey Grammer.
Lindsey
Paul,
Graham.
you're getting a little too old to be president. Sorry.
I won't argue that, dude.
No, I mean,
I'm impaired.
No one here should be president.
No, definitely not.
Let's put that right out there.
Definitely not.
No one in this room should
not necessarily
ever be
for
president.
reasons
Maybe
of age.
Scotty, but
I mean, Scotty would probably be the best at it, but he would still be a tyrannical president.
Oh no, he'd be an awful choice, but he'd be the most capable of doing it.
Yeah, for
dude,
sure.
I'll tell you what, my presidency would be great.
See?
Yeah, there you go.
It'd be fucking wonderful, dude. Look,
Just proves
I would have the best presidency of anyone here easily.
Scotty, you need to start your grassroots campaign.
Oh, dude, I'm unelectable.
Why? What's wrong? Oh, just because I'm your brother? Do you think they use me against you?
Yeah, dude, that banana ass would come out though.
Yeah, dude. It'd be like, here's
banana ass.
Presidential frontrunner Scott Kirk's brother caught doing a ridiculously lewd sex act. We can't even show you this on TV. It will be blurred. For those of you that can't tell, he is removing and inserting what seems to be a large plantain or banana into and out of his ass.
Rectum.
His rectum, sorry.
And this video has been viewed over 700,000 times on like Pornhub.
There's rumors of another video where he, and I hope I'm reading this correctly, dips his testicles and penis into a vat of hot oil. This is blockbuster material. How is this going to affect his campaign?
Scotty's campaign just goes.
Did you like that? You like that? What was that guy's name? Jimmy Carter's brother or cousin? Or whatever?
You know what? Maybe Scotty is the next Hitler, and I save the world.
Maybe so.
You know?
I was gonna go after the Jews, dude. I was just gonna at one point be like,
I don't know.
It's all the Jews.
I don't know who you're gonna go after. Whatever. It's certainly been an interesting, robust discussion. I think that we've both outlined our positions.
Yeah, that's a show.
You can let us know who you agree with down below, and let us know what you thought of the war segment as well. This is my new. I have a new campaign I'm doing, and it's gonna fail, and it's never gonna work. But I'm on a fucking campaign to get people to leave comments that actually have something to do with the fucking video. So let's make the YouTube comments great, not even again, but for the first time.
This campaign is dead on arrival, TJ.
It's dead on arrival. I know.
This is the most pie in the sky,
naive, optimistic
fucking campaign.
Please comment on topic. I'm begging you. Oh my God, it would be so beautiful to read a bunch of on-topic comments.
You know what, TJ?
It'd be so gorgeous.
Why don't you make it worth their while then? Why don't you offer them an incentive?
No, they need to do it.
They
you know
need
what
to
the
do it 'cause they
incentive
want
is?
it.
You know what the incentive is? To look through the YouTube comments section and not be able to go like,
I'm not even talking about money, TJ. Why don't you commit to reading the best comments then?
No.
Oh, then I don't think it's gonna happen, dude.
No.
They got to reach within themselves.
They got to fucking realize this is
They
for
gotta
their
wanna be
own
better.
good and want to be better from a genuine place inside.
I believe it could happen, but I remain a skeptic.
I do too. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Peace,
Good night.
everybody. Become a